A Snowman Named Just Bob, written by Mark Kimball Moulton, illustrated by Karen Hillard Good. It was late that one Thanksgiving when Bob first came to me, a joyful day of food and fun with friends and family. We'd feasted well, as I recall, on Mother's fine cooked fare, then settled down to rest a while and nap without a care. No one knew what was to be as daylight grew quite dim, that soon our lives would change so much simply because of him. The weatherman reported that no snow was due that night, but as we slept, the clouds rolled in, obscuring all the light. And though that weatherman had tried, he never could have said just what was forming in the sky directly overhead. The moon grew bright, then disappeared, then broke into a laugh. The stars began to dance a jig, the clouds just split in half. In retrospect, I do believe that magic came that night. No ordinary storm, you see, could stir up such a sight. The sky began to whip around, then settle on its way. The wind skipped lightly through the trees, inviting me to play. And late that eve, there fell the first exquisite tiny flake. There's the first snowflake. Followed by another, and still others in their wake. And this is when I dare to say that Bob first came to be, as peace fell lightly like a robe over every hill and tree. He fell upon my windowsill, he landed in my hair, he frosted all my neighbors' homes and blew throughout the air. Just when it seemed the storm might pass, or at least be quite mild, the moon came out and gave a wink, and then stood back and smiled. 'Twas like he knew the answer to a real-life mystery, a delightful understanding that would soon be clear to me. The snow took on an eerie cast, the first pink, then blue, then gold. Then anxious little whirlwinds leaped round my feet so bold. Suddenly I heard Bob whisper, his voice was soft and kind. He asked me if I'd help him then, if I was so inclined, to gather up those many flakes and roll them in a ball, till he could be with me in shape and form and all. But Bob, I cried, I just don't know where you are in all of this, 'cause all of you is everywhere throughout its snowiness. You're scattered over everything. How do you recommend that I gather all your goodness and make a perfect friend? 'Twas then Bob shared a secret, and I knew just what to do, for he whispered these few words to me that I now share with you. Friendship is a simple thing. The clue is just to start, as long as it is built on trust and love from in your heart. I ran into my mother's house to wake these sleepy folk. I bid them come and help me to roll and pat and poke and build that grand old snowman and do a right good job to bring to life my special friend, my snowman named Just Bob. We laughed and sang and ran about as Bob began to be. We gathered up what we would need. Everything was free. Some coal for eyes, a carrot nose, some sticks, a scarf, a hat, a smile so wide it warmed your heart, a coat, and that was that. Perhaps you may think so far that magic ruled that day, but so far will seem like nothing compared to what was on its way. For this is when our new friend Bob decided to awake. He opened up his twinkling eyes. His belly, it did shake. His voice, I do remember, was something of a dream. His countenance so pleasing, unearthly it did seem. And though you might be doubtful, a talking friend made out of snow, this is what we heard from Bob. He wanted us to know. You've given me my eyes so I might see you and blink. A mouth, a hat, a carrot nose so I might speak and think. The scarf indeed is cozy. It's sure to keep me warm. And thank you all for giving me such a shapely form. I hope it snows aplenty, so I might stay and share in all your loving friendship, your thoughtful tender care. But when it warms, or if in spring you miss that I'm not near, put a sign in your front yard that reads, "Just Bob was here." Well, that was it. 'Twas all Bob said, that dreamy starry night. He said his piece, he closed his eyes, yet everything seemed right. We all joined in celebration, for his message was quite clear, that just like all good faithful friends, Bob is always near. Bob was here. So now they're all just thinking about him as spring comes. All right, so we are going to make our own little snow globe, and you can make your own snowman on there and put some snowflakes and make it look magical like Bob. And we are going to start with just some blue and black paper, so just some scraps, whatever you have. And then I've cut out a circle, so if you can't do circles, trace around something at your house, a plate or a bowl or something. And then this is the bottom of our snow globe. It just kind of looks like a bit of a tree trunk. And it's just an angle-shaped piece of black paper. So I'm going to cut those out already, so you can do that. Once those are ready, you can glue your ball, your globe, onto your stand. So I'm just going to attach that. That is going to be the first step. And then down at the bottom of my globe, you can write a phrase. So I wrote "Let it snow" on there, but you can also write something about Bob. He's a magic snowman. He comes to life and talks to people. So you can write something about Bob down there. So to make your decoration on there, I'm just going to take a little bit of glue on my finger. Now, if you have water paints, just mix up some water paint and wet it, and then dip your finger in your water paint. So I'm just going to blot a little bit of that off, and then I'm just going to start, and I'm going to do 3 sort of balls of little dot fingerprints to start the shape of my snowman. And I'm going to keep wetting my finger. So that's going to be my first ball of my snowman. And then I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm just going to keep wetting my finger in my paint that I blotted. And then I'm going to do my last one. So it's fairly simple. You can make it as big or as small as you want. So bigger balls, smaller. Something that looks just right for your size of your snow globe. And then around that, I've added some more, which are my snowflakes that come when you shake your snow globe. So I'm just going to continue to put some more flakes all around my globe. And then once it's dry, you can use your markers as I did here, and you can add your different parts. So we've got a nose, he had a scarf, he had arms, and in the story he also had a hat and a jacket. So if you want to put a top hat and a jacket on him, you can do that as well. So while my paint dries, I'm just going to write a little message on the bottom of my globe. So as you're doing that, you can either look at some nice printing that you like, or you can make up your own printing. So I like the wiggly printing with the little dots on the corners. And then I'm going to add my scarf, so it's fairly simple. It's a line around the top ball of your snowman, And then he's got some little pieces fraying out from his neck, or what would look like his neck. And then I'm going to use my orange, and I'm just going to make it look like my snowman's looking up. So I'm going to put his nose pointing up. If you don't want to do that, you can certainly just do a regular side nose with the eyes. And then I'm going to use my brown to show his arms made out of sticks. And then I'm not going to add my jacket and top hat because I think that the snow globe looks pretty the way it is. So that is a quick and easy way to do a snow globe craft.